Good morning, friends. One sober to another. I'm Wayne and I'm an alcoholic. Today's daily reflection for 3 October 2020, Serenity After the Storm. Let's go. All right, friends, let's hit this up real quick. Get your day started right. Someone who knew what he was talking about once remarked that pain is the touchstone of all spiritual progress. How heartedly we alcoholics agree with that. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 93 and 94. When on the roller coaster of emotional turmoil, I remember that growth is often painful. My evolution in the program has taught me that I must experience the inner change, however painful, that eventually guides me from selfishness to selflessness. If I am to have serenity, I must step my way past emotional turmoil and its subsequent hangover and be grateful for continuing spiritual progress. That's a lot. Well, if you're not spiritual and you're not religious and you're agnostic or you're atheist, that's okay. I'm sure you believe in something that is bigger than yourself, that when you rely on it, it gives you strength and it gives you hope. Put your stock into that as you listen to this. So, I understand that not everybody goes to Alcoholics Anonymous, and not everybody thinks that this book is for them, because it actually says this is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. You know what? I've read every single one of these, and they're applicable to anyone's life and to anyone's situation. You just have to look into the words and apply them in your life, okay? So, there's a whole lot that goes in with this. You know, I spent a lot of time in my alcoholism, in my active alcoholism, stuck in a rut and down deep in my darkest thoughts and my darkest feelings and my darkest memories, and I couldn't get past it. My serenity was always messed up. Matter of fact, I had no serenity and I was never at peace. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, which is why, for me, that's why I was self-medicating in the first place, because I couldn't find the happy place, so to speak, and it just didn't seem to exist for me. But serenity after the storm, you know, through pain comes growth. And I can apply that this way in not only my spiritual life, but my physical well-being as well. You know, I might not look all jacked up, but I am kind of ripped underneath of this, and that is because I work out 5 times a week. What I found is that you have to actually tear the muscle tissue up in order to make it grow, to get muscle growth. So you have to shock your system, you have to shock your muscles, you have to shock, you know, your nervous system into thinking that it has to work harder in order to keep you going and keep you growing, which is absolutely true, because once you break that tissue down, it comes back twice the size. So let's say, for instance, that instead of curling what I'm used to, curling like a 35-pound dumbbell, I pick up a 40-pound dumbbell to start my workout, and I do, let's say, 6 repetitions controlled. And I go past the point of just where I get a little sore. That's where that growth starts to happen. And that's the same philosophy here in today's daily reflection is that, you know, for me to experience spiritual growth and to experience a growth in my serenity, I have to be willing to go through that emotional turmoil in order to get there in my program. You might not be working a program, but whatever you're doing is probably working for you in your sobriety. And if it's not, you can take a little bit from me and see what happens. You know, or there are many other sources online, or better yet, go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or go to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, sit your butt down, shut up, and listen to the people who know. Right? because that's what seems to work. But you got to go through some stuff in order to get there. So when on the roller coaster of emotional turmoil, I remember that growth is painful. My evolution in the AA program has taught me that I must experience the inner change, however painful. You know, if you got to address some stuff in your life that is going to make you uncomfortable, that's what you have to do in order to get past it. And that's where, for me, that's where making amends came in. And I had to address those situations that I caused in my active alcoholism. And I had to face them head on, you know, or else I was going to get run over by those burdens and those resentments and those, you know, the unknowns, if somebody was going to forgive me or not, or even if somebody was at fault or if I was at fault. I wasn't ever going to know if I didn't address that head on. And for me, that was painful. One of the most painful ones was, you know, addressing some of the things that happened in my past, you know, during my childhood. But I had to do that so that I don't drown in it anymore. And no pun intended with that, by the way. So it's not always going to be comfortable in order for you to grow. As a matter of fact, it's more times uncomfortable, but you have to be willing to go through it if you want something better in your life. I'll read this part real quick and then we'll move on. I must step my way past emotional turmoil and its subsequent hangover and be grateful for continuing spiritual progress. You know, if I know it's going to suck and I just don't do it, then I am going to put myself in a place that I can't get out of, so to speak, and I'm going to always have that burden waiting for me, really. And I don't want to do that, so I have to, like I said, address it and deal with it as it is. And either it's a solvable thing or it's not a solvable thing, but at least I'll know. And I will what? I will grow, people. And you can too. There is serenity after the storm, and it's important to keep your physical, mental, and spiritual house in order, because for me, those three things make up my serenity and how at peace with myself that I am. And that in turn makes me selfless. I'm able to give to other people without expecting things in return, because in my active disease, I really couldn't give to anybody. The only thing I could give myself was more alcohol, and that didn't help anything, which is why I'm here, right? So one sober to another is just small talk about, you know, keeping your mental house in order, as well as your spiritual house, so that you can be a happier you and you can be of use to somebody else. Really. That's what I think of today's daily reflections. That's what it means for me, and that's how I've translated it. If you have something else to add or you have a comment, drop it below and hit that like button so this video stays in circulation, because somebody might need one of the things that we're putting out here every day on one sober to another. I love you all. Life's a garden. Dig it. And I will be shooting a video tonight, so stay tuned for that. You have a good day. Get out there and get it. And remember, there is serenity after the storm. Have a good day.